I feel like you are taking things too seriously. Maybe that's the message in itself. And remember the first thing that we said in the beginning, the first cards that we pulled, that people are gossiping about you, that you found out that, you know, they ridiculized you and you shared some secrets. Laugh at it. So what? So what? So you thought this person was the love of all your lifetimes and your twin flame, and now you know they're not. So what? You guys, this is it. This is it. Be the first woman. Not remember because it was a different collective yesterday, but maybe you've watched that reading. If you watch yesterday's collective, I was mentioning that people, when you have a person that wanted something and they didn't get it in life, they go ahead and they say that it's not true, right? And we were talking specifically about divine feminines who cannot get into union. So they go ahead and they say online that twins are not meant to get into union, that it doesn't always happen, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't always happen because people give up, but it's meant to happen. It's always meant to happen. If you truly have a twin, it's part of your highest most aligned timeline, but it doesn't matter. Similarly, people who never got love or success in career, they're going to go ahead and they're going to say it's impossible. It never happens because I out of 8 freaking billion people, I didn't get it. So it means that it's not possible for the whole rest. Be the first woman who says it out loud. I thought that I was connected to a twin flame. Through the journey of healing, I've learned that it was a karmic catalyst. And that does not mean that twins are not real. Because you guys, this is why there's so many charlatans out there, that there's so much confusion online. Because 90% of women who think that they're on a twin flame journey, they're actually connected to a karmic catalyst. And the moment they realize that, they feel so silly, they take it so seriously, they still haven't healed because even the karmic catalysts haven't taught them anything. And they go online and they say, this is such a ridiculousness, twins don't exist, it's people confuse it, it's just your karmic, it's not meant to. Be the first person. You have fire. You have courage within. Your mission, remember, is to uplift humanity. One of the most ridiculous thing of humanity is that people are afraid to admit to their mistakes. Be the person that falls and laughs. You know, one of those people that they trip, they fall, and they're like, I have an aunt like that. I love that. Laugh at yourself. Life is not that serious. So you thought this was your twin, and now you can be actually someone who will help these women to discover that you're connected to a karmic catalyst. It's okay. It's okay. It's a gift as well. Because this person as well came here to teach you something. It doesn't mean that what you thought isn't real and doesn't exist. You guys, this is so stupid. This is literally like saying, I was supposed to go to China, but then I didn't have the money, so I didn't get the ticket. Oh, it must be because China doesn't exist. What? The fact that you didn't accomplish something or that you thought that it was yours and it was a different thing, it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. Come on, get out of town. I feel you have this energy of this fire, this jokester, this, right? Don't take things so seriously. We fall to get up. We fall to learn. Right? It is through accepting that we were on the wrong path and we course corrected that we can actually help people to do same. You wouldn't believe how many people stay in denial because something inside of their subconscious mind is already telling them this is not the right path, this is not, but I've been on this path for so long that I'm just going to stay on it. I'm going to, stay in denial because I'm afraid to admit that I was wrong all along. There's even I can never remember what's it called, but even in psychology, there's a syndrome, it has a specific name for people that you've been studying something, and whether that's like school or university, or you've been in a relationship and somewhere along the way you realize that this is not for you, this is not your destiny, this is not making you happy. But in your mind, it's like, oh, I've already been at this like for 4 years or 2 years, I might as well just continue. No time is lost. You went through an important learning, and you can help people to go through this learning too. Instead of becoming the charlatan, coming from a place of fear and spreading the news that certain things don't exist because you did not achieve them, be the person that says, I made a mistake and I learned along the way much about twin flames and much about karmic catalyst. The person connected to me was my karmic catalyst. So now I want to help you to distinguish, because twins are real, but it's not a romance. It's not a fairy tale. Yeah, it is at the end, but it's not all what it is. It is a path of self-discovery for true spiritual teachers who are meant to walk the path of Christ consciousness. It's a life of service. It's a gift and a burden. It's a gift. But there's so many ways you can teach that to people. There's so many ways that we can achieve same. We all can have divine love with a soulmate. We all can achieve Christ consciousness through healing. We all can have mirrors in other people if we choose to learn. And your last one is penguin. Authentic. Reach out to your tribe in times of need. Family gives you strength when you face the storm. Love your uniqueness. You are full of surprises. Break free from others' expectations. Just be yourself. Yes. Didn't we say this all the time? You're not yet thinking for yourself. That you're watching collectives, you're going to the wrong readers, you're caring about the gossip that your friends start surrounding yourself with true soul family. One friend, one true soulmate friend is worth more than thousands of people that you can have in your life. It's the quality, not the quantity. I want to do a few of these as well for you. Okay, I want to do 3 of these, 3 of the other ones, and maybe 1 of that. There's a reason I pulled all these oracles. So let's go with this. Yes, you guys, but we've been at it from the beginning. Throat chakra. Remember, I said this to you in the very beginning of this reading. Maybe you need a little throat chakra clearance. Maybe you need to listen before you speak. Maybe you need to listen to your guides, to your own thoughts before you speak. A day of silence is coming to my mind. One of the most beautiful ways to clear your throat chakra. Singing as well. Maybe you love singing. It's the reason it came to my mind. Sound chakra. You need to embody truth. And you guys, this is it. There's a moment in life. This is why you're in this waiting room right now, right? Watch from the beginning of this reading, so it makes sense. We are sometimes it escaped my mind. We're talking about the throat, sorry. To clear your throat. To clear your throat. Yes. When we are in this waiting room, in the moment of life that we realize that certain things we didn't understand right, we didn't get right, or we didn't see certain shadows. This is the moment. There's a reason I mentioned this to you guys, this empty room and moment of choice. And that syndrome, right? I've spent so long, you realize you had it wrong, and you spent so long in a disbelief, in believing in something that wasn't true, right? Or not seeing your own shadows, not seeing your own traumas, right? And people usually can go 2 directions from that moment. Either you're so ashamed to admit that you were wrong, that you will continue living in denial and convincing yourself that this is actually your truth, or that these things don't believe, or you will have the courage of a leader and a high priestess to say it out loud. I was wrong. Now I know. Now I learned. And I want to help you learn as well. And this is how you embody your truth. This is how you become authentic. This is how you connect your throat to your heart. You speak your truths. Patience, my dear. Patience, my dear. Not just, and any journey requires patience. Why? I always say this to you guys. Urgency comes from ego. Soul is patient. Soul has no rush. Soul is eternal. Soul knows that. Everything comes to you just when it's ripe. The urgency comes from fear. The urgency comes from ego. So release. Remember, we talked about this. You are a bit of an extremist. You realize that you were on the wrong path. So like, boom, 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 we have to remove this. Allow it to be. Allow it to sink in. Allow it just to go with the flow. 21, 53, and we have 58. Goddess energy. Goddess energy. Remember, we said you have to connect more to your high priestess, to your femininity, to your divine feminine. I want to read this cards for you. Goddess archetypes exist in all of us. They help us activate and embody powerful energies and gifts that resides within. This card invites you to explore the fascinating world of female archetypes and work with them to fully open and surrender to your powers. What goddess resonates with you at most at this moment? Unconditional love of Mother Mary, compassion of Kuan Yin, fierceness of Kali, or perhaps beauty and sensuality of Venus. Work with her energy. Work with her magic. Pray to her to guide you and empower you. Remember, she is you. As feminine, you are creation. You are anything you want to be. And it's I feel like sometimes it is a bit of a misconception that, you know, when we worship these goddesses, it doesn't mean that there's some creature and person that actually lived one day in the past. Some of them, you know, maybe, but it's about the energy that they embody. We all are Mother Mary. We all are Kali. We all are Venus. We all are Freya. And all the archetypes that we have, you know, and sometimes in archetypal oracle decks, and we talk about these archetypes, we all embody them because it's the energy. It's not actual physical persona. It's the energy. We've given it name. Embody these female archetypes. Embody these goddesses. You're being guided to connect to them. I want 3 of these and then 1 of the soul truth. Clear. And more. Water for both of them. I mean, this is a sea. This is a sea oracle, but some of these, they connect to earth and shore. I think that they actually have elements as well. Anywho, all right, we have clear. May you see things as they are. You guys, may you see things as they are. We were talking about duality as well. Remember that you see things a little bit black and white. If it's black, I need to remove. If it's not, no. Our falls are part of our journey. Our mistakes are part of our journey. Again, you thought this person was your twin flame. Now you know it's a karmic catalyst. Do not mark that statement as a mistake, as a flaw, as a fall. It is what it is. It is neutral. It is how you accept it to be, how you see it to be. I say this to you guys all the time as a mantra. Nothing in this life is good or evil. Good or evil is an illusion of this physical world. It does require a higher level of consciousness to truly embody what it really means. But everything in life is neutral. Whatever happens, it's your programmed human mind that makes you go to, it's a bad thing, it's evil. No, it's not, it's neutral. If you choose to see it as a lesson and an opportunity to grow and find yourself and find your truth and find your mission, it's a good thing. So you are connected to this person. This person was meant to be put on your path. You had a soul contract, and it's a good thing because they taught you about yourself. They taught you about soul connections. They taught you about karmics. They taught you about twin flames. They taught you about getting up from your falls. They taught you to accept and now have the courage to go out there and say, it is what it is. Yes, I didn't see it for what it was. And now you can help people not to fall in the claws of charlatans online. We talked about this, the divination abuser. Help people to see the truth for what it is, to see the truth of karmic connection, see the truth of twin soul connection. They're just different types of tie There is no superiority and inferiority. We all have our journey. See things for what they are. Do not label them as good and evil, as success and failure. It just is. It just exists. Lightness. May the light lift you to the surface. There's a theme for this in this collective. Remember, we said this with the coyote. You have to be more lighthearted. Be more, laugh at yourself. Laugh at your mistakes, because they're not mistakes. They just are events. Stepping stones. It doesn't matter. Be more lighthearted. And we have stretch. May you extend your reach. It's a moment of extension. It's a moment of expansion. You've been in this box. You've labeled your journey. You've labeled yourself. You've labeled your life. And I've done a whole episode about this. It's part of my Divine Feminine. You guys, although my Divine Feminine Masterclass is designed for Divine Feminine on a 20 journey, 80% of information that is there will serve you on your journey of healing or alignment, of finding your soulmate, right? So all these labels, twin soul, karmic, divine feminine, divine masculine, it's just labels. It's just nonsense. It means nothing. It's in this physical reality, because most people don't know how to communicate and read energy, right? Communicate in energy. It's a higher level of consciousness to be able to do that. And if, even those of us who know how to do that, that are spiritual teachers, truly awakened, we don't use that with many people, because not many people know how to do that, right? We're humans. We communicate with speech, right? Well, there are many forms of communication, but one of these, you had that throat chakra as well. So we sometimes, to make it faster and to understand things better, we create these labels, right? And they're useful. So I don't, every time I talk about twin flames and karmic catalysts and karmic ties and contracts and awakening and divine feminine, I don't have to explain this to you in a 1 hour video, but I just say the label. But it's also very dangerous, because people misunderstand labels, people don't use their discernment, people attach to these labels. Release that. You now are going to be entering a new doorway and a new timeline. And you have to stretch your consciousness, expand and extend your consciousness beyond what you thought. And in order to do that, you need lightheartedness, and you need just to see things for what they are without label. Without label, because it means nothing. All right, and your final one, truth of the soul. Truth of the soul. It's a huge message. Confirmation. Listen, when was the last time I couldn't stop laughing or smiling? There's something within this collective that you have this joy, you have this fire, you have this capacity to fall and to laugh, to bring humor, lightheartedness into the room. But there's this cloud of heaviness and seriousness above you that you need to remove. Go back to a moment when you laughed so hard you almost peed your pants, or did. Feel the laughter grow in your body, your cheeks hurting and eyes watering. Maybe there was even a snort or two. Laughter is healing. It reminds us to take life less seriously and find the joy in the littlest things. Note to self, laugh more often. Today's soul's action, make somebody laugh today. I just saw someone that waits in the line, and there's a kid right next to you, and you're just like, make someone laugh today. And remember what we said in this coyote, it's time to play. I feel this collective, you need to activate your childlike joy. There's a prankster within you. There's a comedian within you. There's a performer within you. You're funny, but you forgot. You forgot because you were so focused on the labels, on the healing, on the path. Part of healing, you guys, and if you've watched a couple of my videos of me giving advice to other spiritual teachers as you tap into that journey, how we restore our energy is through childlike joy. for being that energy around the house, laughing and singing and cooking and doing silly things with, whether that's your partner or your loved ones, and just childlike joy. Because as we grow, we think that we mature, but unfortunately, you guys, 90% of people, they don't really mature intellectually, emotionally, spiritually. They don't mature. They just get older because they constantly heavier and heavier from the what society tells them. And then some of them become heavy, bitter, and that old energy, and some of them become obsessed that they're getting older, and they try to find youth in drinking and in partying, like those ridiculous people that are halfway there through their life, and they going to like spring break sort of a fun and dancing on tables in a bikini. You guys, none of these things is maturity. None of these things is being young. Childlike energy doesn't mean that meme and that TikTok thing that is circling around. When you're getting old, you can either be old, right? You're not going to be young. You already done that. You're not going to be young. And it's what our society, it's the reason it's coming to my mind. It's the distortion of the society. If you're in your 40s and your 50s and your 60s and then you go to your 70s, you're not going to be in your 20s. You're not going to be young. But instead of embracing it, these are my wrinkles. This is a little bit of body fat that I accumulated, but this is my wisdom. This is the energy of my sacral raising from my heart to my crown. I am a crow woman. I am the high priestess. I have the wisdom now of this avatar and a remembrance of all my avatars. But in the same time, I remember that this was just a sandbox game. So I have a childlike joy to sit like a little child in a sand and create a castle, right? I laugh. People don't understand that. This is activating your youthfulness, your childlike joy, your childlike energy. Not denying that you're old. And now you think that you're old, so you're going to do some Botox, you're going to dance in a bikini on a table, you're going to have some cocktails with your friends, but you're not going to have maturity to really admit that I've made a mistake because you think it's too late. You're not young again. You're ridiculous. Right? Do you know what I mean? Don't be that person. Teach women to be high priestess, to have childlike joy, but the wisdom of all your ancestors. This means you've conquered life. This means you've matured. You've expanded your consciousness. You learned on your falls, right? So you can get out there and not teach people ridiculousness, but teach people that there's nothing wrong in accepting that I've made a mistake, because things are what they are. They're not good or evil. They're not black and white. It's just illusion. All right. We're going to end it here because it's been an incredibly long reading and it had a different turns, but I hope it was helpful. If you made it through here, you're an amazing human being. You're here to lead. You're here to change. And I feel strongly as well for many of you, women, leader for women, distorted understanding of womanhood, everything that I just said in that last part. So be fierce, be courageous, tame your fire, learn to work with your fire, heal, allow things to be without releasing the label. You guys, it's a risky moment, because many people, when they release the label, they just switch one label to another, which is not a true release. So release that label. All right, I love you so incredibly much. I will be back on my stories with another November oracle today. I hope you enjoyed this reading, and I will see you tomorrow.